Okay, folks, we are still on this. We are still working. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing good. Hey, thanks for all the good comments. You guys are, apparently, I'm a cheery, informative, entertaining, and educational kind of guy. But thank you for all the comments. It helps, keeps me going. Okay, so today we tore apart this S5 rim because it needed a repack. We took this back off. We took that back off. We got real grease, and what we found in here is absolutely atrocious. I don't know what's going on here, but I don't know what kind of grease this is. This is not from Schwinn. It's got some kind of greenish yellow baby poo stuff in there, and these bearings were really sticky and gooey. I didn't see any damage on the cones like I thought. The cones look pretty good. And this other cone looks pretty good. I'll try to get it without knocking this wheel off. Yeah, this cone looks decent too. I don't see like a big chip in it where a bearing disintegrated or something. There's 9 bearings on each side. These are very gray and greenish looking. Ugh. God, I don't know what's going on, folks. We'll look at these races very carefully. And this side has got some kind of a baby poo, baby's first poo grease. I don't know. I haven't seen grease like this. It's usually white lithium. Maybe it's contaminated white lithium grease. That could be. It's really sticky. Anyway, we're going to use some real stuff. I'll clean this out of here and check these cones really carefully, because something was making some crunching sounds and I could feel it, And the axle is straight. And this inner cone by the freewheel is really good, and so is that other one. So maybe it's just some contaminated goo that was in there in the baby's first poo grease. Anyway, let me clean this up, and then I'll turn the video back on once I get it cleaned up and clean these cones. That way you won't just be sitting around watching me flap my gums because, more work and less talk. Okay, it's coming along though, guys. It's coming along. I'll edit this video into the other video, and we'll make another video out of this. It'll be like a couple of videos together. We are going to put this other fork in so I can cable it up. I'm waiting for this fork to come, and I don't know if it's coming from Venus or Mars or somewhere, but it's taking a long time. Anyway, yeah, thought you'd like to see what's in there, and look at how gooey these are. Man, they're just... wow. I mean, that's some sticky stuff. Okay, I'll put this on another video and we'll go from there. Hey, welcome back. Faulkner Fixes All here. Yeah, I just tore this rim down, and I showed you some of the baby poo grease in it, but everything's clean now, and I really didn't see... there is some very slight pitting in this inner cone on the freewheel side. It's really not that bad, actually. Just barely starting to pit. And this side's pretty shiny and good. We're going to run it. We're just going to clean everything up really good. This hub is nice and clean now. You can't really change these. I have before. What I did was I broke open a hub that was ruined but had these inner cones good, like it was cracked. Break it open, pound these out, and then you take another hub and pound out a bad cone, and then you weld that cone. You tack weld it. Well, I don't know what. I think I just tack welded a bolt on there, I think. And then you slide hammer it out. And then you take the bad cone and use it as a driver. Pound the new cone in, and then you pop it out. I don't think I welded anything. I can't remember what I was doing, but you can change these, but you have to ruin like 2 hubs to do it, and it's really not worth it, and it's not recommended. These are pressed in at the factory, and they should stay in there and be everything good, but you can do it. You can change them if you're willing to ruin another whole hub. If you have a cracked hub that has good cones, it's kind of a rough call. I don't recommend it. These are okay. These are fair. This is not too bad. I think we're just gonna put some grease in this. And these cones are good. I always try to leave this part alone if it's in good shape, if this washer is in good shape. Because this is the length you need. You know that it's going to be good for the freewheel. So I kind of try to leave the freewheel side alone. Unless it's a bent axle and you're changing it over, you can take a measurement. Or you can take a measurement and clean everything and make sure this washer is good. There's a washer and a lock nut there and another big bolt here. I kind of like to leave this side alone. And as you can see, the wear is good. The wear is right in the middle of that cone. There's a little blip there, not too bad. I don't see any big pits. The axle's straight. So we left that alone. In fact, I retightened it. I made sure. I put a cone wrench on here. I'll just show you real quick. Yeah, I just put a cone wrench on that inner cone and gave it an oomph. And then I put a wrench on here and gave that an oomph. And you can tell it's really tight. Always check those. They have a tendency to loosen up, especially this other nut here that goes in and helps you bolt it to the bike. Make sure this is tight. Okay, we're ready to go. Let's put some grease in this baby. We cleaned up this washer. We ran these on a file. I always do. And you can see what it took off there. That's from years of it being bolted in a bike. And not much on that side, a little. But you run it on this file a little bit. Yeah, it takes the plating off, but get happy. At least that's nice and flat for what's happening later when you put it together. And I always check this washer too, and as you can see, it took a little bit off too. Not much on that side. It's good if you hold this down on the workbench and do it, but I'm just showing you. See, it took a little bit off there. And now it's fairly flat. You see how it took that edge off and that edge off? You don't want that interfering with that fit when you go in to tighten it. And I don't think you can really do much on this because it's a hardened part. Yeah, that's a hardened part. And there's a little ridge there. You're not going to do much there. Okay, so let's put some grease in this. And yeah, we got stuff to do, folks. Fresh real grease. Real drum brake grease for automotive. Okay? Go get some drum brake grease that's not contaminated. I don't know what's the deal with white lithium. You know, it's I know a lot of people use it for bikes. I just get some decent drum brake grease that has an API rating. I don't really like the high temperature stuff because that's for disc brakes and it's kind of messy. Well, all grease is messy. Okay, so I just prefer the drum brake, you know, high temperature red grease. Not a promo, not a paid promo. Okay, so there was 9 on each side, so we're gonna put 9 in here. 1, 2. And these bearings look good. I thought one might be cracked in half. 3, 4, 5. Like my box technique. 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now we'll put the cone on. We'll put the bearing, not cone. It's this. Yeah. What is it? Protector. Yeah, the protector. Yeah. Put that on. Yeah, I like to. Sometimes I just like to rest it on a box. It kind of gives you a. You can't really hammer on it though. You got to put it on the workbench for that. Let's take it off the box, and we'll just give this a whack. Pound this in. Yeah, it's a little high here. I'm sure that's not good for the aluminum threads, but we're okay. We know what we're doing. All right, so let's just keep those in there and just turn it around here. That's where that nice thick red grease comes in. They're not going anywhere. Those bearings are just staying right there. Okay. Still looking for that camera assistant. All right, hey, thanks for all the good comments, everybody. I must be doing something right. There's people watching me. Telling folks it's all going to be okay, and it will. Everything will be fine. Yeah. Powers that be are going to keep pumping out the new bike parts for folks. Yeah, there's always going to be inner tubes. There's always going to be chains. It's not going to go away anytime soon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Spin it over here. 6, 7, 8. We can't see. And 9. Now we can see. It's good to have towels. Okay. Oh no, we got some on the spokes. Oh god. Alright, so we're going to pound in this little grease protector now. Definitely a good Schwinn part. And we're going to put that in. And then we're going to... Maybe I'll just be able to do it on my hand here. Let's see. No. Yep, there we go. That's in. Double check this one. Could use a little here. Okay, that one's good. That one's good. See, nice thick grease. That stuff's not going anywhere. Where are you going? Nowhere. Okay, so we got this cone ready. We already double checked this. We cleaned it. We tightened it. I like to keep this together on this side, unless there's some damage on here or this washer's damaged. You know, you don't have to take it all apart. It's good to clean everything, but I like to keep that part together. And this is the freewheel side, obviously. We're going to put that in. Don't worry about those threads getting some grease. That's what they do. That feels really good. Okay, we will wipe this extra blob off, you know, because we're like that. Okay, so here's the cone I cleaned. And we checked that out. It looks pretty good. And see how that box came in handy? We're just kind of keeping everything together while you're working on it. There is a special tool that holds an axle on its threads in a vise. I don't think it's necessary. I never really bought it. Okay. All right. Okay, inner cone on the non-freewheel side. Going in. Everything feels pretty good. Oh, it feels much better. Oh, yes. I'm so glad I took this thing apart. If you saw that baby poo grease, it was kind of rough. So that just shows you, you know, if you don't know the condition of a rim, but it feels okay or fair, and you can feel a little bit of crunchy stuff, always, you know, tear it apart and repack it. Okay, so we ran this washer on the file, and it did take off. See the shiny stuff? That was all burred and sharp and protruding. And so now it's not. It's going to slide on there nice and easy. And then here's the part that really got the hit. There was big chunks on this, and a wrench wouldn't really fit on it anymore because somebody had used the wrong wrench. Someone's been in here before. Somebody has definitely been in this rim before. That white lithium that was green and gray, I think Schwinn uses white lithium, but it just felt like somebody was in here before. And, you know, we're in here now, so that's the way it goes. Pop that on. It's important to file those on the file and get everything nice and flat. So when you go to adjust it, you won't be fighting these burrs and stuff. You know, cut your hand open. You know? Okay, get you over here. Yeah. Let's get you over here. Okay. All right, so let's grab the appropriate. There it is. Now before, this 16 wouldn't even fit on here, but it will now. It was so burred. All right, so we're going to grab this and spin the cone in. And it's okay to have it a little tight, because when you tighten this up, it actually loosens the cone a little bit. This is where you would have that special tool that holds these threads in the vise. Or you could use double nuts. You could take these two nuts and double nut them over here and hold that with a wrench. But you know what? You don't need to do all that, folks. That's a bit extreme. Get it kind of tight and then tighten it up, and it'll loosen the cone when you're tightening it. See, right now the cone went out. If the threads are really good and everything's clean and you file those washers, you know. Oh, that's too tight. I spoke too soon. Okay. You know. So we're just going to hold this other side and gently kind of crunch that out a little bit. And hopefully this other side won't loosen up. Let's see here. We're just kind of ballparking it before we... Oh, that feels pretty good. Hopefully that'll tighten it right up. Let's see here. We're loosening it off a little bit. And that's pretty good. Let's tighten that up just the way it is. Maybe it won't change very much. Oh yeah, it's almost perfect. Okay. And see how you can do it with one hand? You've got the cone wrench there with your thumb, and you're going to bring this one in with your hand. You're just crunching them both together. You can do that with one hand if you get it set up to do it right. A little tightening and we got this. Okay. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Okay, let's give it a spin. Oh yeah. See how it's just resting on my fingers? I'm not really pressing down on the axle. That's a good, good way to cut your hand, but if you have to hold the axle from spinning when you're test spinning it, it's probably too tight or there's something else going on in there. I'm so glad we got into this rim. This feels much better. The grease is new, everything's clean, there's nothing crunching anymore. I'm really glad we did this. All right. So one thing I did notice, since this is not a Schwinn freewheel, it doesn't have the seal here and it doesn't have this space needed to use this style. I really want to use this Schwinn style. But we may have to ground the top of that, or we may have to use a plastic one that doesn't have such a big lip. This is not a Schwinn freewheel, so we have issues here. But for now, we're just going to put it back together until I figure something else out. I might rebuild an actual clean and kind of go through an actual Schwinn freewheel. Okay, we're doing well. So we're really glad we got into this, It was crunchy. And you saw that in the first part of the video. There was that baby poo stuff in there. It looked like old white lithium grease. I'm not really sure. I've never seen that particular grease before, green like that. Maybe it was just contaminated. Not bad. And this up and down hop, you'd be really pressed to get that out. I'll show you where it's at. It's right on the actual weld of the rim. It's right here where the rim is welded together. That's where the dent is. That's where the up and down hop is, right there. So you'd be really hard pressed to get that hop out. You could probably loosen these spokes here and pound it down, or put it in the press and crunch it down. But I'm okay with it. It's not too bad. Yeah, take that to the bank, as they say. All right, so I think we got a little time. Let's throw this fork in because we can. If I can find it real quick. I can't find the fork, folks. What did I do with it? Oh, it's over here. Give me a second. I think we're going to throw the fork in even though it's the wrong one. And so we can start cabling stuff up. I can't wait. I can't base my whole life on this fork coming in the mail. I've got one right here that's bent, but it's the right distance from here to this top. And I think what we're going to do is just whistle it in there so I can... Oh wow, this is damaged. Yeah, look at that. Look at that, it's damaged. This fork, I remember something was wrong with this fork. Yeah, something's going on there. That should be tight. Well, we don't really care. We're not going to use this fork to ride. We're just using this fork to mock it all up. So let's just whistle it in there. No grease. I don't care. Here's a dry bearing. I don't care. I don't care. This is just to mock things up. We're supposed to have... That's supposed to be tight, by the way, folks. That's supposed to be on there tight. This fork is damaged. This is not going to hurt anything. We're not riding it like this. We're just whistling it in there so I can put the stem in and the shifter on and kind of just keep going on this before the other fork gets here, Yeah, that's bent too. I can tell that's bent. Oh man. This is just a fork to... It's just a fork to build the bike with. So we'll put this on. Put this washer on. Oh, it's tight. Wow. Can't even put the washer on. Okay, that's the wrong stuff. We know. It's not greased. It sucks, but we can run the cable now. And we can run the back cable once we get this stem in, which we're going to do right now. So, and we're not going to worry about greasing this up or anything. Well, it's greased already, but because this is all coming back out when we get the other fork. So let's just whistle it in there. We got stuff to do, folks. I can't wait for this fork to come from Antarctica or wherever, slow boat to Mars or something. I don't know what's going on. It should be here by now, and it's not. So, granted, it's coming from across the country, and there's been snowstorms and other issues, and it's not like the weather is absolutely perfect nowadays. So, I understand. I'm not saying that FedEx isn't working as hard as they can. Or UPS, or whoever's doing what. I understand, folks, but it's not here. So we're just gonna mock this up, okay? This is not the fork I'm using. It's the wrong color, it's bent, and it's damaged. But it will hold the items that I need it to hold so I can build the bike. Okay, you guys understand now, don't you? Yeah, you got it. And we can put the front brake. Well, actually, let's put the bars in. Man, he's got dusty in here. Wow. Dude. Somebody's been doing a lot of woodworking in here. All right. Get the idea. It's dusty. Wow, it's dusty. All right, so now all right. Yeah, that's about it for now, guys. Ladies and gents, this is not gonna stay here, you know that, but now I can cable it. Now I can put the new cable in here, run it down through here where it goes. run it to there, go into there. I can put the brake handle on once I can find a better fastener for it, and run the cable through to those little eyelets there, and to this back brake, and I could put the pads on. We could put the front brake on temporarily and run the cable from the front handle to the brake. And then when we're all ready to switch it out, we just undo everything, let it hang, and put the new to me fork in. So yeah, it's gonna be okay. Hey, thanks for tuning in, and subscribe if you want to. Don't let me give you the lecture again. It's gonna be all right, folks. Keep working on your old bikes. Tune into my channel and you'll magically feel better. Every video will make you feel better and better. You'll start singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow like Inspector Clouseau's buddy. Yeah. I'm feeling better and better every day. Okay, guys, next video, I don't know, I guess we'll be putting the fork on that comes in the mail. Or we might have to put the rear wheel together and tire and tube. That's probably what's going to happen. We're probably going to go jump right on the rear wheel with a new gum wall and a new tube, and at least get that running and shifting. And then that's kind of like, 80% there. All right, hey, have a good day, and stay by the fire.